Okay, Google. Let's get spooky.
Let the haunting begin.
Pretty sure this goes on for a while. So.
I just wanted to see how long it go on for.
Embrace the spook.
Tell Google to fuck off.
There you go.
Too Soon Podcast, Halloween edition.
Spooky.
New phone edition. Oh.
But hey, people, you listen to us. Welcome to the Too Soon Podcast, episode 28. I'm Trent. I'm joined with, this week, with Orc.
I'm not Trent.
And also Liam.
I'm Liam.
And that's it.
That is it.
Yeah, no Trey.
Or he's there and he'll just make a noise in the background.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll just keep up the illusion that he's of his presence.
Yeah, no, Trey's here. He's just mad at us, so he's not going to talk for the entire time.
Yeah.
But this is the last show before Halloween, so if you're hearing this
Spooky.
on Halloween or around that time, happy Halloween. Be safe. Be sure your kids go to the houses that have the razor blades, because what's the fun in not?
Yeah, and make sure to be spooky. Because if you're not spooky, then there's no point in having Halloween.
And if you have pets, children, or children as pets, be sure to send their costumes into the
If you
Crew.
have children tied up in your basement attached to a radiator that aren't allowed to...
Give them a costume.
They're not allowed to walk or anything, just to see if somebody can run before they go on. Make sure to give them a costume.
Yeah, and maybe a Kit
Snapchat
Kat.
that shit. And privately send us your Snapchat username so we can add you and just watch your updates and not go to jail.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I
that's a
will
throwback.
immediately contact the local police
Yeah, I
department.
will definitely tell the cops.
I'd be like, one of our podcast listeners took one of our hypothetical scenarios to heart and had a baby and tied it to a radiator.
Yeah, they took a joke way too fucking far.
You know what? But here, I'm actually going to ask that question. Let's start the first area of topics with this. If you just had someone randomly add you on Snapchat and you accept it because you don't care, and you start seeing serious crimes on their Snapchat, how would you go about investigating on how to get it reported?
I'd tell the cops.
Yeah, I would just walk to the police station that's a block from my house and be like, hey, check out my Snapchat. You figure this out.
And then I'd also contact Snapchat, not by reporting it, but by literally emailing Snapchat, be like, hey, somebody's doing really illegal shit.
Okay. So which one do you think would result in action faster?
I mean, I highly
police
doubt
first
that
or Snapchat
our
first?
local police, unless it's a local issue. If they're from California and we're in New York, I don't think our local cops are going to do anything. That's why.
Well, I think they would be
Snapchat.
able to get in contact with Snapchat at a more efficient level than we would.
Yeah.
Or
I guess talking to Snapchat support.
or if they can figure out where the Snapchat's being taken at, they can contact their local police department.
Yeah, but that would be
That's
Snapchat.
the main problem, though, is knowing where it is.
Well,
Unless they
that's
put the
Snapchat's,
fucking, whoever's doing these Snapchats puts their fucking what's that called?
puts the geo filter.
Turns out it's in some basement in Manhattanville College.
Yeah, it literally says the basement.
Go
of
Valiants!
College. Go Valiants!
You know, with I just thought about this though with Snapchat. There was a story, and it's true. I just never saw it myself. But there was this notorious guy in my high school who
B.I.G.
was what?
Notorious
B.I.G.
Yeah. He
I didn't know you were that old.
He was time traveling, actually.
Oh, okay.
He was like,
shot you?
I came
So
to drop
he
my
didn't
rhymes
die.
in the future. No, he came to drop his rhymes in the future so he can go back in time
And
to
die.
Yeah.
And die,
So-
yeah.
Seems like poor decision making, but go on.
I mean, look, when you know your fate is
You do
sealed, you're
you,
going to do what you
Biggie.
can to... You got to preserve your legacy, okay?
Okay.
Do you, baby.
Tupac did it too, don't worry.
It wasn't a hologram. It was just him.
Oh, yeah. No, Tupac never died. It's a conspiracy theory. Just like Pre-Cum.
Exactly. Well, yeah, they just time traveled. But no, so there was this kid who, and according to people that went to school with him, because he went to a different middle school than me, throughout middle school and the first part of high school for my graduating class, he was a very nice kid, great grades, standout guy, did activities, the whole works. He was a good kid. Until halfway, I think around his sophomore, junior-ish year, he started basically becoming a drug dealer.
Yo, did he do crack?
Probably at some point, but he was just a big pillhead from what I heard.
Oh, that's boring.
And I remember one time, the only interaction I remember having with him when I was in high school was I met him in some other kid's backyard, and they're all smoking weed, and we were trying to find weed, but we couldn't find anybody who was willing to sell it to us. And it was a weird night. I won't go into details of that night. It's not a good story anyways. But that's the only time I met him. Sometimes. But Snapchat, though. So that kid got high a lot. Go figure. And apparently there was a story which someone confirmed to me it was true, that when he got high one night on Snapchat, he killed a cat on his Snapchat and put it on his story.
I would beat this kid's ass.
Yeah, I think he's a serial killer.
That's
like one of the telltale signs of a serial killer.
That's like, it's the same guttural reaction that I got when Liam and I went paintballing with some friends, and our like ref or whatever told us that the day before somebody shot one of the dogs that kind of just roams the property.
Yeah, it's one of the owners'
and
dogs.
It's like one of the oldest dogs on the property that just kind of
it's like
around.
A 12-year-old golden lab.
Yeah, and then we saw it later on, and it had this big red mark on its side. I'm like, I want to fucking pummel whoever did that. And I don't like violence, and I will fucking rip this kid's head off.
He also choked it out, by the way.
Oh my god.
Wow, that's real. I genuinely think that he's a serial killer.
It's a good thing I don't have to grow up in Florida, because I probably would have killed someone by now.
But he also, besides that was the worst thing I ever heard he did. But on a side note, he also was very well known for pushing himself on girls at parties and being basically a sexual abuser / harasser.
So he's a rapist.
Cool.
He was not like, and that's why I preface everything with he was a really good kid until he got on drugs. But
Floridian Harvey Weinstein.
Yo, my boy.
Plus
Harvey.
cat killer.
And he was on track to go like to top tier schools too, until he basically became just the shittiest person you could be around.
That's nice. I appreciate when people throw away their entire lives for drugs.
and their
well,
potential.
it is less competition, so I'm okay with it. Just don't kill my fucking cat.
It was his own cat, I think, but still,
don't kill any cat. Don't kill.
Yeah, stop killing cats.
Just stop killing anything. It's fine. Like, not everything that annoys you or whatever needs to die. Just fucking live with it for a little bit.
Yeah.
But I have been using Snapchat a lot more in the last few weeks since I've been in the city, though.
Yeah,
because I've been online dating a little bit.
Did you say I wish you didn't?
He's referring to some of my stories, I bet.
Yeah, I wish you didn't.
Nah, I just wanted to say that because I'm an asshole.
I mean,
a good asshole
most of my stories are of my roommates just doing shit.
Yeah, I saw your story today, which was just like you and your roommates looking down at the
Shopping.
camera doing something. I don't. There was really no context.
No, there wasn't, because I just Snapchat whenever I just feel like it's time to not be bored while doing something boring, like grocery shopping.
Right. Well, now that I have my new phone that actually can use Snapchat without completely stuttering and freezing and overheating, I'll probably post some more Snapchat stuff.
Yeah, I wish
What
you
is
didn't.
your phone?
I got the new Pixel 2 XL. Hopefully I don't have one with the bad screen that people are complaining about, but if I do, I'll just return it.
Is this the most expensive Android phone you've ever had?
Yes.
Is it the most expensive phone you've had,
I've ever
Jen?
had, yeah. Let's see. It might be the most money per square inch, I'd say.
Per pixel?
No, I'm thinking just size of object to money.
Get it?
In the past, our
There's only one
ancestors were
pixel.
trading their currency for land. Our generation, we're trading our currency for smart devices.
Yep. Well,
all the land is bought, so fuck
before
it.
this phone, I had the Nexus 6, pretty much since it came out, which was freshman year of college, so 3.5 years, kind of. And it didn't, I mean, it was good for a while, but then it just really started overheating a lot. Like, it would burn you. If you had Snapchat run in the background, it would literally burn you.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
Good thing you got rid of that one.
Wasn't a Christian?
I'm pretty sure it took after me in the religious belief aspect.
Correction, what's the word? Radical? Yeah, radical Christian.
Okay.
Radical Muslim?
Where are we going with this?
I don't know.
I don't know. I just had a flashback to those because I think me and Trey told the story before about when we went to the con and the people at the con were like The church people were protesting the Comic-Con in Tampa.
Yeah. Hentai is illegal. God hates hentai.
God hates hentai.
And then cosplayers yelling at two white dudes with sticks and posters.
Imagine how much time, like, let's say A, God existed, and B, he actually hated everything that people said that he hates. That's a lot of wasted time on hating bullshit. Like, oh, God hates
that
you,
he has
and
full
God
power
hates
on
your
stopping.
art.
I mean, I hate gays too, so.
Yeah, I hate gays. Fucking roommates!
Fuck you guys across the hall.
Fuck your gay sex and League of Legends.
But, like, hate is such a big waste of time.
The two most gay things in the world. Gay sex and League of Legends.
They're good at one of those things.
Can you hear? How thick are your walls?
Let's just say we try to be courteous when we have guests over, both sides of the wall.
Well, they never have guests over, so you're good.
Well, sometimes they play the role of guest, but that's their business. They never listen to the show. They only listen to the one time I told them that I talked about them on the show.
Yeah.
So
All right,
I might tell them to listen to
I'll
this
make
one.
sure to let them know that we talked about them this week. Yo, Brian, come here. Check out this podcast.
Brian is the one who designed our stuff.
Yeah, Brian's the legend.
He's like, it's so funny with him with Photoshop stuff. He's just like, oh, yeah, I can do that. Like 20 minutes later, he actually has like something that's half decent looking with that much effort. I'm like, God, you really know this shit. Why don't you do this more? Yet he works in a call center. I mean, because it's just, honestly though, for him, it's just easier just to get a good job than it is to try to pursue, like artistic design. So,
speaking of his job, you're getting a new one potentially.
Yeah, because I've been spending the first few weeks in the city just figuring out what's hiring and all that shit and getting my house settled in. Did some interviews and some applications, and maybe by this time next week I'll figure out if I'm gonna maybe be working for Best Buy. That'd be fun. What's wrong with Best Buy?
I mean, I only have gone to Best Buy in the past like 5, maybe 10 years to buy CDs because they're the only place that sells CDs.
I went there to buy a DisplayPort cable, and they didn't have it.
Yeah, no. Every time I go to Best Buy, they don't have what I want.
There.
Except for one time.
Would now.
No, except for one time I was looking for a SATA cable, and I went in, asked the guy, I was like, hey, do you have any like hard drive cables? And he was like, oh yeah, sure, they should be over here. And he pointed me in the direction. We looked around, I was like, all right, I guess you don't have any. He's like, yeah, whatever. And then I took like 2 steps, and I was looking at this what's it called, fan for it was like a Corsair H800 or whatever. And so I was just looking around, and right next to it was the exact cable I needed. And I was like, man, if I didn't come and look at this fan, I would have just left without this. And then I had it, and then I brought it home, and I fucking fixed the computer. I was like, these bastards.
They're getting a lot more PC stuff in general, because they're like Best Buy's really branching into being like the main retail guys that can help you with PC gaming stuff.
Well, right now for me, if I need to go to a store for PC stuff, it's gonna be that fucking Micro Center.
Micro Center's my fucking place. I love that place.
Yeah, Micro Center's good, and they match the price of like so many websites, like Amazon and what the fuck, Newegg. So yeah, I think when I bought my monitor there, and they cut off like $150 because it was cheaper on Newegg.
But when did you get your cap card, Liam? Your new Elgato?
Yesterday.
Yes. Oh, okay. I didn't know you actually.
Why do you have a
cap
card?
Because I want to start. I may start streaming some games for my PlayStation. Also, it makes
hardly stream your PC game.
I know, but I play PlayStation games, and I hardly play PC games that I can actually stream. Like I play PUBG, and I play like fucking.
Yeah, and that's a bitch of stream.
I play Ubisoft games.
So none of those work.
And honestly, most top tier streamers that stream games like PUBG, they're streaming from a separate streaming
computer
PC, right? And then that capture card actually lets you do that in the future.
Yeah, but I want to be able to stream like fucking Madden or NHL because I play those games way too much. This is actually one of the very few podcasts that I'm not playing one of those games during.
Congratulations! Hey.
Yeah, but if you want to check out one of my streams one day in a later time, fucking twitch.tv/actuallyliams, I think my name is.
And then if you guys want to check out our boy Trey's A to Z Steam stream.
When is he starting that?
He started it. He got to A and then stopped.
Yeah, he got that like Alan Wake or something and then stopped.
Yeah. Go check him out. Casual Llama. There's a 1 in there somewhere. I don't know how to spell it.
Is there really? It's one of the L's is a
Yeah,
1?
I think it's the L in casual is 1.
Okay, yeah, I guess it wouldn't be the L in llama, because it wouldn't look like an L, really.
Emperor's New Groove is an underrated Disney movie. There, I said
100%. That is one of the best Disney movies of all time.
All right, let's go down that tangent.
Well, llamas,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The show
You bursted out of the gates with that one, I would say.
No, like, let's be real. The movie Emperor's New Groove was amazing. It had some top-tier quality comedy. And then
animation was good.
Yeah, and then they made the TV show, and the TV show was just as good.
See,
like
it's
Emperor's
hard
New
for me to
School or whatever?
judge stuff that I saw as a kid, because everything was good as a kid, so I have no fucking
but see,
clue.
I
mean, the
I
show.
rewatched
I mean,
it,
I
and it's fucking.
remember the show being
didn't.
okay. I was just sad with the lack of llamas in it, though.
Yeah,
'Cause
they
he was a
definitely
human in
could
the
have
show.
added more llamas.
Also, the whole school premise didn't make a lot of sense either, though, considering he's the fucking emperor of everything. Like in that,
but he needed
movie.
to go to school.
It makes
Yeah.
it more
Public
relatable
school?
for kids.
Yeah, public school.
You know what's
He
a
needs to
really
meet
good
people. He needs to have friends.
Disney show? The Little Mermaid show is actually pretty good.
I didn't even know that there was a show.
Yep, like most popular Disney animations of that era got a TV show. Not Lion King for some reason, but
No, it
Little
did.
Mermaid show. What?
Yeah,
What was it?
I'm pretty sure it was following like Timon and Pumbaa, or
Oh,
like
no, you're right.
Simba was a
Yeah,
kid.
I
With
watched
Simba too. At some
Yeah.
points, not all the time.
Wasn't he like a special guest? Usually.
Yeah, I think it took place after the events of the movie, and then it just followed them hanging
No,
out.
I'm
being
pretty
kinda-
sure it was like young Simba,
Yeah.
like when he was growing up with Timon and Pumbaa.
It was
'cause-
Timon and Pumbaa. I remember.
Because like,
Yeah, I remember.
yeah, because they in the movie they just like kind of skipped over him growing up, and they went from him being a kid with Timon and Pumbaa to him being an adult.
Yeah, they had that whole
They had
like,
a montage.
romance montage, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Aladdin had a show too. That was good, and it had like 3 sequel movies that also connected to the show.
Yo, the sequel movies were awesome.
Yeah, the one of his dad was pretty cool.
Yeah.
the 100 what is the premise of that again?
I don't remember.
I don't
It's
know
like
what the
some
fuck
kind
you're
of
talking about.
mythic. It was some you know how like in Western lore in the U.S. there's like all the cowboy gangs there were.
Yeah.
There's
King of Thieves.
King of Thieves. Yeah, and it's the King of Thieves, and then there's also a group that was associated with that. What was it?
I don't
The
remember.
40 Thieves. Is
Yeah,
that
probably. Something like
Something in the 40. I don't fuck. Man, that movie was good.
that.
Though.
Alibaba
I
and
have
the
no
40 Thieves.
fucking clue what you're talking about.
Oh yeah,
You
but
should-
the
you should
Lion
go
King
watch
TV
the Aladdin
show
sequels.
was just Timon and Pumbaa.
Yeah, that I vaguely remember, but my memory goes to about
Bro,
it
Lion King
existed.
wanted to have
That's about it.
great movie.
Oh yeah,
The animation that is really good too.
why?
what I
Why did
remember.
it need a one in it? I don't remember any of it.
Because
I just know
it followed
that
Timon and
it
Pumbaa's
existed.
perspective during the movie,
Okay.
like the whole way through. Digatana, 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 digatana. Remember the fucking movie starts with Timon's life as a meerkat in the Meerkat Society, and he's an outcast.
Yep.
And then he meets Pumbaa. I like that movie a lot. It was really funny.
I really like Timon and Pumbaa. They're like my man.
All right, here's the new
Like-
series. We're gonna stop this podcast and we're just gonna watch a bunch of old, like not the main Disney movies,
Oh,
but
Disney
like
sequels.
the spin-offs and sequels
yeah,
and
only
shows.
spin-offs.
And then we're just gonna talk about them.
The Little Mermaid sequel was meh.
Yeah.
So no, I'll skip
It,
that.
fol- it followed her daughter Melody, and she was a human that wanted to be a mermaid, the opposite of her mom, who was a mermaid who wanted to be a
Wow, the
human.
creativity is unreal.
Yeah. I don't know how they came up with that.
And
It's
what do you
fucking
know?
impressive.
She's tricked by a witch thing.
It's almost like people want what they can't have all the fucking time. It's
almost like-
in shows.
Disney direct-to-DVD, or actually at the time, direct-to-VHS sequels were
Yo,
unoriginal
VHS 's were
sometimes.
crazy.
Rewinding. Fuck rewinding.
Yeah, that shit was like...
Fuck rewinding and fuck having your shit get taped over. Man, I cannot tell you how many fucking Pokemon VHSs I had that my dad taped over because he didn't check what the tape was.
Oh, it's scummy.
Fucking God, like at least like 5.
You got scummed out, my man. You got scummed out.
Because my dad would always like record like games and stuff, like the sports games and shit on the TV when I was really young. Whenever, because like this was pre DVR, so and I just go home try to watch fucking an episode of Pokemon on VHS because the show wasn't on TV at that moment. I'm like, fuck, what is football? And I got mad at my dad. And
what
he
is this football?
This is like 4 or 5-year-old me too. So
I used to watch some kind of VHS series called, I think it was called Walking with Dinosaurs, and it was like trying to be like Animal Planet, but with dinosaurs. So, like, you know that there's a fuck ton of lies in there, and we're just like, we think it's this, so we're just gonna say it's this, and so they just kind of decided what certain animals look like at the time and shit. But it was pretty cool.
you just triggered me and gave me flashbacks to all the Land Before Time movies that I've seen at doctor's offices when I was a child.
Yo, Land Before Time was the shit.
Yeah, well,
But there's like 30 of those movies now, so fuck them.
They're still good. Doesn't change
No, like the
fact
first
that they're
4
damn
maybe.
good movies.
what was the really little tiny dinosaur?
Littlefoot.
Yeah, maybe.
No, that was the main one. No, Littlefoot was the
no,
main one.
The really
It was
really
like a
small
Stegosaurus.
My girl
Ducky.
Ducky. You
Ducky
know,
was like a
you
little-
know her actor was killed
Yeah.
by her father.
That's what I was gonna.
Oh,
I
like
knew
that
that.
shit's
I knew that
fantastic.
something. I thought she was a drug addict or something.
No, it was a little girl.
Ducky, when it gets
Yeah, but I thought she
up.
grew up and became a drug addict.
No, she was murdered by her father.
Oh, okay, cool. I knew that there was some kind of controversy. I just didn't remember what.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I used to have a
actually,
little
gonna look
Ducky
it up.
doll of that.
I'm gonna look up how many of those movies there are. I bet there's like 30.
Definitely not 30. I'll guarantee you that much. Probably like 3 or 4.
No, there's 12 at least. Like
You're
that's
going
that
of Ice Age.
No. There's like only 6 Ice Age movies
Only.
compared to Land Before Time.
Well, let's find out.
And
Definitely not
I'm
that
gonna
many Land Before Time movies.
I'm pretty sure there's at least 12. And that's not even a joke. Okay, so there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
No way there's 15
They started
movies.
making the first one was in 1988. The latest one was in 2016.
Yeah, but anything
They're
past...
still making them?
outside
That's
the
what I
90s.
said, Liam. The first 4 ones
No,
were good.
That shit
didn't
doesn't
believe me.
exist.
It's
No,
not real.
literally, there's 6 real movies. And because once it broke into 2000s, that shit didn't make any sense. Like,
You guys,
no reason.
you guys remember
So the last
Invasion
one-
of the
Disney's Dinosaurs?
Tinosauruses? What the fuck is that shit?
So on a side note, based on what I'm looking at the covers of like these films, it looks like
They're
the
all straight
last
to VHS,
one that
I can guarantee it.
right, but the last one that looks like the rest of them as far as format and art style is the one that came out in 2003. Then the next one that came out was in 2005, and the rest look really weird.
That looks
But
fucking...
yeah, there's
That sounds fucking retarded.
but like I said, there are more than 12. There's 15.
But do you guys remember
Okay,
the Disney
so-
movie Dinosaur?
I do remember that, and I will get back to that in a second. But there were only there was one that was... The first one was directed by one guy, and then the next 3 were directed by another guy. And then the next, 17 were directed by the same guy. So, I only count 4.
Right, Liam, but you're not taking away my point. There's a fuck ton of those movies.
Yeah, but they don't count, because they're not my childhood.
Liam, you were born in 96.
Exactly. And I fucking
These movies are older than you.
I know, and I watched the first 4 1,000 times because they were out when I was born.
Oh my god, I'm just scrolling through images of Disney's Dinosaur. And
Yo, that movie was scary.
fuck, that animation
That was trippy.
is
Yeah.
bad.
No.
It's fucking
also-
bad looking.
It's also scary because it was realistic dinosaurs in a kids movie,
yeah,
and everyone was really angry at each other.
yeah. I remember the
movie.
fucking the big Carno motherfucker was the villain.
Yeah, wasn't the plot a dinosaur was raised by monkeys or some shit?
Well, there were lemurs,
Right?
which everyone got mad about because it's lemurs didn't exist during that time period. It's neither did talking anything. But
Alright, guys, I'm sorry, but I have to come
relatively
back to
valid
this. I didn't realize that George Lucas and Steven Spielberg were executive producers for Land Before Time.
Really?
Yeah, both of them
Holy
for the
shit.
first one.
Wow.
Alright, I'm done.
I'm trying to find some images of the fucking lemurs. And didn't everyone die at the end of Dinosaur? Wasn't it just like
I'm
that
pretty
was
sure.
the end?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the meteor
Oh,
hit.
Liam, I just had an idea.
Yeah, the end was just everything died. What a
Liam, if you ever
conclusion.
become successful on Twitch and have people follow you, call your followers the lemurs.
Lemurs.
That'd be so
I
cute.
found a picture of apparently a lemur called Plio or Plio.
Man, you're making me think of the fucking McDonald's Happy Meal toys for when that movie came out too. I remember them being weird.
Oh yeah, you know I think I probably still have a few somewhere.
That show was just
why don't we-
animated weird. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's
That's a
so
movie.
fucking bizarre looking. I don't know how to
well-
describe this animation. It looks like it's supposed to be a video game.
Yeah. So, welcome to the dinosaur section of the podcast.
No, welcome to the suppressed childhood memories that we're trying to think about very often section podcast.
Suppressed or just uninteresting?
I guess both. For some, oh god. All right. So for our audio listeners, which is all of you, we are looking at one of the main lemurs from the dinosaur movie that was made by Disney,
Yeah, apparently
and
her name is Plio.
I will say the hair looks pretty good. The
Check
fur.
out this
Oh
motherfucker.
no, that ain't no dinosaur.
That's a baby
That's an embryo.
dinosaur.
He's being cradled by something.
A lemur.
A giant fucking.
I knew it wasn't
By
fucking
a
crazy. I knew-
something.
Fucking, hey, you guys want to make a movie about a dinosaur being raised by monkeys and make them look really real?
Just make everything look oddly real, but also oddly fake.
Yeah, like let's make everything look really real, but with that slight cartoon edge.
Yeah, just a little bit that makes it weird. Like if they were very real, it would look normal. But
Holy
the fact
shit.
they have that slight cartoonish, it makes it that much weirder.
I actually remember this scene.
I can hear the scene, man.
It's the scene
yells
where like the
were
main
so weird in the
guy,
movie.
the main dinosaur confronts the big. I think it's a car now.
T-Rex.
I don't. No, it's not a T-Rex. But
like a super
the big
T-Rex.
fucker, and they're both just yelling at each other.
Yeah, and don't worry, guys. Now that this is an audio podcast, everyone can see this, right?
Well,
that's
yeah, I mean,
that's how audio podcasts work.
That's what link dumps are for, Liam.
Yeah, no, make my job fucking
Or here.
difficult.
Here's what you do: Google
You
Disney's
bastard.
dinosaur and scroll down. There you go.
Or go to the
Fucking
YouTube page
problem solved.
and go to the YouTube page
Or
and click the description.
Treat yourself to a wonderful night at home and put on Disney's Dinosaur with your friends and family.
Or you can go to the Pastebin that will be in the description of the podcast on just about every other fucking.
Actually, on a side note, let's talk about that for a second before we go to our break. So I put the Pastebin in the description, and I think that's okay because it showed up everywhere. But I think that may have affected some sites properly notifying everybody and updating. Because it's weird, because like when I check all the different sites and platforms about the show, everything is showing green everywhere. Like the episode last week got uploaded and everything. But for some reason, on my devices, it's not showing up. So I don't know what happened last week, and I've tried fixing it. So hopefully by the time this next episode comes out, everything's back to normal with that. But
So if you
I
didn't
don't
get
know
a
if that's
notification last week, we still made a podcast. It is almost definitely on your podcast viewing place. But
and it should be still
you
on
may
the
have gotten a
service.
shitty
You just
fucking-
might have to go to. But you might just need to go to the main page
Yeah.
to check everything.
Don't blame us. Blame whatever hosting thing you use. We're perfect.
Yeah, but I think it may have been triggered because I put a Pastebin link in the description, but I'm not sure. So
Yeah, I
guess
feel
we'll
like
try
that
it again and
that
see.
wouldn't make sense.
It wouldn't make sense, but that's the only thing I could think of. So we'll try it again this week. But in the future, though, even if we don't put them in the description, we'll just in the future though we'll put the link dumps in Pastebin, and you can just look up Too Soon Pastebin, and that should come up because we have an account for it now,
Yeah.
a Pastebin account for our link dumps, because that's a good place for everybody to read it.
I'm gonna have to add that
Anyways.
to my list of things that I read at the end of the podcast. And Org,
Yeah,
what the fuck is that last one?
Yeah. Can we? I don't want to get too dense from you, but
don't talk about that one. That one's special for the link dump if you want to.
yeah, the secret dinosaur link
Yeah.
of the week. But let's go and take our break, and then we'll be back, and we'll talk about some more nerdy, gamery stuff, because a lot of things have happened in
We
the
should
PC
talk about
world.
Disney's Dinosaur, the video game.
Nah,
I'm sure it exists.
Yo, okay, next week, everybody find an emulator.
Oh shit, it does.
Play. Yeah, everyone get an emulator. Play Disney's Dinosaur on fucking whatever.
It's on PlayStation and PlayStation 2, Game Boy, Dreamcast, and Microsoft Windows.
All right, we're all gonna play.
I
the...
think
It
I
was
might have
made
played
by
the Game Boy version.
Ubisoft. All right, so we're
Yeah,
gonna play this game, and then we're gonna talk about it next week.
But real talk, though, before we go, Ubisoft used to be the fucking king of fucking licensed garbage back in the day.
Yeah, well,
No, you know what
that's
the king
that
of licensed garbage was? LJN. If you ever watched Angry Video Game Nerd, you know what I'm talking about.
I mean, in our childhood, though.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's go take a break.
Why are we doing this again?
This is a remix version.
Like, it would make sense if
27
this was
remix.
a new what's it called, episode, but this is the
Well,
same
this
episode.
is the only Halloween episode we get.
I mean,
until
we'll
next
get
year.
another one next year.
Too soon, 2018.
You know, this fucking song or whatever it is an hour long. It's exactly an hour long. So,
That's hot.
theoretically, we didn't even need to do a podcast. We could have just played this the whole way through.
God
That
damn
would
it.
have been exactly
We
the
fucked
right
up.
length. Yeah.
But, so this is the first time we've ever done this on the show, right? And what I mean is, we're actually going, in this episode, live right now, we're going to be reaching out to a sponsor right now. I am directly asking the owners, the creators, whoever they are, of the Paw Wash. Too Soon Podcast wants to get sponsored by Paw Wash. Let's do it. We will promote your product. Guys,
We'll
if you...
jerk off
if-
a
if-
dog's foot.
Yeah, no,
If
let's
anybody
be
in the-
real. If you want to send me one, I'll videotape Norman using it.
Well, alright, we should explain what the fuck we're talking about.
Nah.
During
Let's
the
just,
break,
let's just move on.
Trenton
No, let's
found
just move
a
on.
Video.
Just move on. Just move on.
Alright, look it up.
Yeah, look up the Paw Wash.
the
It'll be
Paw
in
Wash
the
on
link dump.
YouTube.
/too soon.
Yeah, pawwash.com/
Paw Wash.
too soon.
Our email is the too soon crew at gmail.com.
Hey, that's
Feel
my
free to
job.
direct it.
Paw Wash,
talking to-
our
look,
email
I'm talking-
is... Yeah, but hell, if you want to give us money, go for it.
And I'll come up with a good motto that involves, hey, jerk off your dog's foot.
if your dog's toes aren't semen free, get your money back.
I mean, I hope your dog's toes are always semen free.
That's why you use the Paw Wash.
To guarantee.
The guarantee.
It's the Paw Wash guarantee. You will be semen free.
Oh man, I really hope one day we get a MeUndies sponsor though. Real talk, because I could use some new underwear.
I could
Yeah.
use some underwear. MeUndies
And
hook me
socks.
up. MeUndies doesn't do socks, do they?
They started now.
I'm still more of a Stance guy. Stance.
Excuse me?
If you want to hook us up with some socks, I love your product.
Compete
Alright,
with
well-
MeUndies.
We do hope you guys enjoyed the first half where we talked about childhood nostalgia,
Dinos.
dino
Dinosaurs.
nostalgia.
Dinosaurs?
Dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs.
This will be the boring half of the
Dino
show where
horses.
we'll talk about some stuff gaming related because our hobbies do that. Yeah, we.
Well, we already talked about gaming related stuff. I talked about my capture card. That's
and
gaming
Dinosaurs the
related.
game.
Yeah, Dinosaur the video game.
But no, I'm referring to Destiny because that finally came out on PC, and I skipped the console version because yes,
Yes.
no need to go into any further detail. I
And that's
don't-
the conclusion of this section.
Yeah, and there's the Destiny segment. Thanks for watching.
came out on Tuesday.
Make sure to tune in
It
to
is Thursday.
Dinosaurs.
It's been a good time.
Dinosaurs.
All right, but actually, so before we go into any talk about that, I want to tell you guys something related to that you'll
Okay.
appreciate.
Destiny
I
1.
told- A tragic but harrowing story of underdogism.
Okay.
Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now the whole gaming community is slightly more tolerating of our franchise. Remix. But so as you both know, I've been part of a community that's been waiting for this game to come out on PC. Now that it's here, we've been really busy. Just basically, it's a dedicated PC community for the game, and it's been a lot of fun. But waiting for that game was interesting because we had a bunch of people who were really impatient for the game to come out on PC, and we had a bunch of people who didn't know what to do with all this waiting. So we had some stories, and there's one person in particular I want to tell you guys about because you guys have no idea what I'm talking about because you guys have not been a part of that community yet. But there's this child, and it's a good time there. It's actually the fastest growing PC community for Destiny.
The only reason why I'm there is because you get shit for being in a big clan.
Mm-hmm.
So
good times. But so in that group though, I'm part of the staff of that. It's a pretty big thing, so that it requires a lot of moderators to be on just to make sure people aren't just completely fucking trying to wreck the shit at all times. But one of the guys who was in the server up until about a few days before the launch, before we banned him, it was this teenager, this kid, and his name consisted of 3 letters. It was E, N, then E, and no one knows exactly how to pronounce it. Some people pronounce it N-A, some people pronounce it Een, it's just, but yeah, he was just a total, like, stereotypical, depressed, loner, memer, I think I'm above everybody else kind of kid. No, way worse than Mitch.
Okay.
He's like if Mitch... It's like if Mitch was bullied to the point where he cut himself and then had some brain damage.
Okay.
Some pretty vivid imagery there. But so I was first introduced to this kid back when the D2 beta was on PC, and I first joined that community.
Stop calling it D2.
It's shorter than saying Destiny 2.
I know, but it's so fucking douchey. And you made me say D1 earlier by saying, by hearing you say D all the time.
What's this clan called, or whatever the fuck it's called?
It's just called Singularity. It's just a community. It's not necessarily a clan. They have clans for the game, but it's like just an aspect of it.
I don't know, something about saying D1 and D2.
I don't actually care about it, but I need to link it for the people.
It's just a abbreviation for the game.
I know what it is. I understand the letter and the following number. It's just
it's also easier to refer to the newer or the older game that way too. So people don't know I'm talking about Destiny 1 or not, because sometimes, some people will. Anyways, D2, because it's fine to say that.
According to you, not me.
Yeah, the D2 beta. That was that was on PC about a week before the game came out on consoles, so that's when I joined the community originally. And I've been seeing this kid just talk in this Discord community since then. And, man, it's just... Everything I've bitched about when it comes to what I think of really socially awkward people that just try to ruin normal socializing for everybody because they want to just stand out and feel special. He's just like a personification of all that, but just times 10, man. It was so bad. Examples of things he did. I'm trying to think of the first time I remember him actually standing out. The first time he stood out to everybody as being a complete okay, this kid doesn't have a decent filter. And mind you, this is a big community full of lots of people, and we're trying to keep it, friendly for everybody. He was dropping N-word hard R directly at people in just public chats, not PMs, just straight up in the public chats.
Man, that's a sign of a great person, great human being, salt of the earth.
And it was always over arguments of just dumb shit related to the game or things because just this kid triggers me so hard, man. I'm not even triggered usually. I don't even use the word.
Yo, are you hard right now?
Oh boy,
hard R.
Honestly, and by the way, the story ends with me banning him from the server myself, so that gets me hard.
Spoiler.
Yeah, spoiler.
Are you triggered with a hard R?
I'm triggered. I'm super trig hard. Oh my god! But no, so yeah, he did that. He also just would always get super defensive and yell at people all the time whenever so this kind of kid, so this is the kind of kid he was. He would be and he's 15, 16. He would be posting questions in certain rooms in the community about PC stuff because there's lots of people who are getting on PC for the first time just to play Destiny, new PC gamers. Okay. And he's trying to build a PC.
Master race.
And he'd be posting pictures of his build or ideas for what he wants to buy. And as soon as anybody gives him advice, he just goes on the stage no, this is not what I want. And he just go on and on about how he's being super defensive about his choices. But then why are you asking for feedback? Why are you the type of person to ask for feedback and then get super defensive when someone gives you any good ideas, especially when you're asking for help.
I mean, that's not really a rare characteristic. Most people, when they ask you a question, they only want to hear the answer that they want to hear. And if you're not giving it to them, then they move on to the next
They
subject.
don't give a shit.
But this was everything he posted, though. Almost everything related to anything technical or with his PC, everything. He would get into an argument with someone over it.
Well,
And it
this
was
is the
just
kind
so-
of person that I would have fun with in a voice chat. Because I could demolish it.
Luckily, I was lucky enough to never have to voice out this kid.
No,
And then also,
I enjoy interactions like that. I feed off of interactions like
no,
that.
I just never.
That's why you're such good friends with Mitch.
Well, the thing is, he can take most of the bullshit I throw at
Yeah,
him.
no, Mitch is fun.
So that's why that's like his only redeeming quality. That was part of the shit I'm throwing at you, Mitch. If you're listening, which you're not.
Which you're not, yeah.
We know you're not.
And this was going on for like weeks with this kid, by the way, because like we had a lot of people in the server, but not everybody was active because people were waiting for the game to come out. The whole point of the Discord and the community is for Destiny 2, so not everybody was like really super active in it. But he was one of the people who was very active in it, But he would also put like ridiculous like shock value, like cringe memes of just dumb shit that he would post in there just to get attention, to get people to delete it and stuff. And everybody hated this kid, but we want to be fair and not just remove him just because we didn't like him. So we gave him chances, gave him warnings, and it finally came down to the point where one of the staff of the community got onto him again, and then he decides to rebuttal with, "Fag, don't delete my shit." And then
What a smart kid.
Right. Oh, and this is also. And by the way, I forgot one last part before I get to the very end of this fucking NA story. Is he would also be posting pictures of his room, and one picture was so bad that I don't know if either of you heard of this, but there is a subreddit called neckbeardnest, which refers to nasty gamer rooms for the most part.
Oh, so yours would be perfect.
Oh, mine definitely
Got his ass.
You both have seen my room.
I mean, my room's pretty
that's what I'm
cluttered,
saying.
but it's clean.
No, this is like filth, trash, paper plates, bowls,
I'm fucking
garbage.
with you. I'm fucking with
Yeah,
you.
no,
I do, in fact, get up from my seat occasionally to throw things out.
No, I'm referring to like the definition of like a neckbeard nest. Like go to the link to subreddit. It's gross. But so this kid shares a picture of his room because he's trying to show off his keyboard. But his room looks like his room looks like his parents beat him and throw him in there and lock the door. All right,
That's probably why he's such a shitty person.
Was he attached to the radiator so that he couldn't walk?
Maybe,
and they wanted him to run first.
But he never showed good pictures of his room, so there could be a radiator in there. I don't know. And
his only understanding of movement is through video games.
And he had the cringiest, terrible bed sheets, man. And all his pictures would have his bed sheets in the frame because like that's the only furniture he had. And it's like this weird like checkered patterned dog bed sheets. Like it had a bunch of different breeds of dogs on it. And the kid's like 16. Everything he did was just beyond cringe.
Awesome.
And then and then when he posted pictures of himself or what he was eating, he was so cringe. So he posted a picture of him having his dinner, and all it was a bowl of corn with a giant slab of butter on top.
What the fuck?
And it was so funny to everybody that we literally took the image and made it to an emo in the server. And we call it NA corn. Like this kid was so ridiculous. And then there's this older photo that I didn't even see till the mods brought it up to me. It's a photo of his hand on a giant loaf of bread on his bed.
What?
And his hand. I'm going to show you all these pictures. I'm going to pull them up. I'm going to show you guys post show because I don't want to pull them up while trying to recollect everything. But his hand looks like he's fucking starving, and he's like got weird like disfigured proportions. Like this
kid's probably like a week away from death, and he knows it. So this is how he deals with it.
I guess.
You're, like,
and then
going off on him, and he's like
you
a
make fun of the poor
cancer
kid.
patient.
But he was literally ruining all of our times, and look, we spent weeks debating on if we should even kick him or ban him, and we wanted to be nice to him because we obviously knew he's a troubled kid, but he just was not taking any advice from us because a big part of like the community for us too is we want to be nicer to like the younger players that are coming into the community so we can like because like I'm sure you guys remember when we were all younger playing online, it was always cool to meet the older people people our age who weren't dicks to younger guys.
Actually, the thing that made that cool was it was such a rare interaction. Like, oh shit, you're beyond the wall of puberty, and you're not yelling at me for having a high pitched voice. This is interesting.
You're actually not a piece of shit to me. Wow,
for no reason. You're not yelling at me in a Halo 3 lobby for existing,
for being young. I'm sorry.
Right. So we're trying to do that for the younger players in there because like a lot of the people who are the staff and stuff are like in their 20s or older. So we want to be accommodating for everybody because Destiny's a fun game and we want to play it with as many people who are getting on PC. Pretty much.
I'm all for the I already don't like you and bye action. Like I was only kidding about having sympathy for this fucker. I don't give a shit about him.
Right. I mean, and that's how a lot of us felt, but we still wanted to like give him a chance because like we knew he liked most of us to a degree. He was just terrible at socializing with people, even just through text.
Yeah. Well, hey, get better. There you go.
Yeah, but
fucking tip of the day. If you feel like you're socially awkward, don't.
And one last thing
Just get good.
I'll do to describe him.
Just be an asshole like me. People like that for some reason.
The one time he shared a picture of himself, it was a picture of his long, greasy black hair just covering his face with his headphones on.
Also, he uses shampoo and conditioner every now and then.
He looked like he was from The Ring. And you couldn't see his face at all.
Tips to socializing. Clean yourself, clean your hair, clean your room.
Don't look like the girl from The Ring.
Clean the language you use, and, don't be a fucking freak. There you go.
Thank you.
Now tips to
5
high school
simple
or whatever.
steps.
5 simple steps. I should have my own version of that Nickelodeon show that I never
Ned's
remember the name of.
Declassified?
Yeah, that one.
We already
Too
have
big
a
of a word.
podcast
I'll never remember it.
dedicated to that.
So like
What?
3 days before
Yeah.
But 3 days before that game came out, though, we all finally came together to decide, okay, he called a mod a fag when all we were doing was correcting him, so we finally came together to decide to ban him, and I was chosen to do it because I was the most impartial to him, because I was the only one who didn't have beef with the kid at some point.
Why would it matter who does it if none of you are going to interact with him ever again?
Because we wanted to still maybe give him a chance if he like properly apologized and like took a break from the server, maybe come back, because we didn't want to completely like cut him
if
off.
I was a mod, I'd be in the voice chat during the discussion of whether or not to ban him, and I'll be like, guys, I banned him 15 minutes ago.
Guys, he's already banned. I don't know what you're talking about.
You guys are talking about literally nothing. It's already done.
Right, so I banned him, and then this is basically what we said. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's not that long anyways, but it's just notice you're being banned, effective immediately. And we told him that it was for derogatory language, for like using the N-word and stuff, arguing with the staff after being reprimanded, and not following community rules. And then after a week, you can maybe get an appeal if you follow procedure. And then this is what this dumbass motherfucker says. He says, Caden, a mod is a human, first of all. I don't know what that means. And he said, third, I was simply explaining something that I realized it myself. Also, it was a meme technically, which I also don't know what he's referring to. He said, and then lastly, he says, and the first one, referring to derogatory language. What does that even mean?
Yeah, well.
Intelligence at its finest.
You should have put in parentheses, try to get a job with your current personality, and then close parentheses.
So that's a little last thing I'll talk about. He actually told us that he was trying to get a job to finish building his PC, and he applied to McDonald's. He had an interview. They told him no, so he gave up.
Yep.
So he gave up on finding a job.
When you can't get a job at McDonald's, and it's not because the position has been taken, you got problems.
Fuck you.
Yeah, so that was, I mean, there was other stuff that happened up until launch and some stuff that's happened since, but that was like the highlight. Just like seeing that high level of borderline retardation, is the only way I can basically say it, was just ridiculous.
I've grown to just hate socially awkward people, which sounds really bad, but I've filled my quota by going to Windward for 3 years. So I'm now allowing myself to say whatever the fuck I want to say. So
wait. So you mean to tell me that you hate socially awkward people, yet you're friends with me?
Well, you're not really socially awkward. You're just antisocial.
You got me
like
there.
I'm antisocial too because I don't like people. Not because I'm afraid of what they're gonna think if I don't seem cool immediately. Like that fucking kid who came to the nature center this Wednesday. He did nothing wrong to me. He didn't hurt me at all, but I hate him. Because he made every interaction fucking awkward. He stared, like he was supposed to sit in the shotgun seat of my car, and instead of opening the goddamn car door, he just stood out the door and stared at me through the window. Like, invite me in, or I don't know, what do I do with my hands? And I just don't want these interactions. I want to yell at you, get in my fucking car, you weirdo. I'm your driver. This is a car. Get in. So I hate him for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, I would say for clarification, though, socially awkward, a really easy way to describe that, different from antisocial, would be the inability to pick up on social cues without verbal communication. Like if I say something to someone and they give me a look, or they adjust their body language, or they do something obviously that would be obvious to most people that's negative, and then they just can't react to it.
Or
they can't read social cues.
They don't know that it's obvious. I've met this personality a lot. People that just kind of act like the person they're with, and they try to mimic whoever they're with because they think it gets good reactions from the people that they're with. So they're never really a person. They're just whoever they're a chameleon of whoever they're with. And it's always incredibly obvious. If that's your tactic, like, hey, I don't know what I am or who I am or what my sense of humor is, so I'm just going to mimic someone else, don't do that. Because that person will catch on fucking immediately, and it's weird.
Yeah, people know when their personalities are being mimicked.
Especially when your personality is a loud fucking asshole like me.
Yep.
Because then if someone else is suddenly a loud fucking asshole who you just saw not be, it stands out. And it's weird. There's a kid, fuck it, I'll say his name. His name was Noam in Manhattanville. Do you remember? You remember him, right, Liam?
Nope.
Did you ever meet Noam?
Nope.
Like, he's nice and all, but he would just kind of turn into whatever person he wanted to be like at the time. So, like, when he was hanging out with Andre and his crew, he would try to be all, like, urban. And it was really fucking weird because he's just this rich Jewish kid. And then he found some friends in the Jewish community of the school, and suddenly became like hardcore. I wear a yarmulke every day, and like whatever out of the blue, and like I'm going on my birthright trip, motherfucker, and all that shit, and like stand with Israel flags and shit like that, like out of the fucking blue. Like, one day I see him, he's, like, trying to be a fucking rapper, and then the next day he's fucking just hardcore Jew. And inviting me to get pizza at the Jew Club, and all that.
Alright, I don't mean to interrupt your guys' stories, but I'm watching football right now, and I just saw the stupidest play I've ever seen in my entire life. So I'm just going to speak in very general terms for those who don't understand football. So the guy gets the ball. He hands the ball to the other guy. The other guy drops the ball.
A hand tossle, okay.
Yeah, the other guy drops the ball, and then the ball goes forward.
Faffle, okay.
Yeah, the ball goes forward
I'm just using football
into
terms,
the touchdown, into the end zone, and somebody else comes and picks it up and scores a touchdown.
Like, Kajam! That's what you say in football when you score.
For the team that fumbled the ball into the end zone. Like, how the fuck does that happen?
I would not be able to tell you.
Also,
motor skills. You need those to play sports.
Here's my sports section. Ndamukongsu's an asshole. I fucking hate him. He's a piece of shit. So
I wanted to add really quick, though.
Perfect. Fuck that guy.
If you want a personality trait to help you stand out as an individual, go ahead, buy the Paw Wash. Jerk off your dog's one of your friends to stand out today.
Just be the guy that walks around with that. Just be that guy that walks around with that. Because, like, in Manhattanville, we got the rollerblade kid, we got the fucking pogo stick kid, we got the what is it, the
jerk off his dog's
unicycle kid. Be the jerk off your dog's foot kid.
No, guys, we can't talk about that. We're not sponsored yet.
I don't think they would like our sponsorship.
Jerk off your dog today. Keep him
Liam,
toes clean.
if you had to decide who is your least favorite person at Manhattanville, who would you say?
I'll be completely honest with you. I know like 3 people. But there was this one girl in one of my classes who asked, looking at a map of Asia, asked which one's Russia. So I'm going to say her.
That's fair. I can't decide currently. Like, I feel like every semester it changes because your interactions, you interact with different people every semester. So this semester it's probably armbands, kid.
Armbands.
No,
He's got so many armbands that it's just wear a long sleeve shirt, motherfucker.
He's waiting for a friend.
I don't know what the fuck. Yeah, I guess I don't know. But all he does is he'll listen to whatever the professor is saying. He will raise his hand, and then he'll say also, and then whatever the professor just said. But it, like slightly differently, but really not. And he does it in this such smug fucking way where he's like leaned back as far as you can sit in your fucking school chair, and he's got his leg over his other leg because he's like the skinny jeans motherfucker that can cross his legs in a chair.
Sounds like me.
I guess. I don't know. I can't do that many things with my legs because they're tree trunks, and in a fucking school desk you don't have a whole lot of maneuverability. But he manages to sit in the most weird contortionist ways. And he looks like he's supposed to be on, like, interviewed by 60 Minutes or something. Like he's some fucking star that everyone wants to know what his fucking take on this fucking film is. And I don't want to hear it. I literally clench my fist every single time he raises his hands. Because I'm like, I want to hit him. But I can't.
Well, or for the sake of our podcast and for the sake of your sanity, I think you really should just step out your comfort zone. Approach this kid and be like, can I have
Punch
an
him in
armband?
the face.
No, I'm just going to say, can you shut the fuck up? Shut up! Stop!
Welcome to the Orc is Mad section of the podcast.
This is just my life. I get mad at fucking everybody. You got dumb hair and you can't get in my car? I hate you. You talk about nothing in a class? I hate you. You say the word like 19 times in a fucking sentence that has 9 words in it? I hate you.
You constantly make fun of me. I kind of like you. You're kind of my friend now.
If you make fun of me, I will be your friend. That is the best quality of a human being.
Non-stop berating of your life by me. I kind of like you.
You care about your pet's hygiene and comfort and jerk off his foot on the regular? I love you. Be my best friend.
Well, when our school group was at its peak of actually being a group, that was our whole dynamic, was we just constantly make fun of each other and other people. And that was the whole fucking thing. And I love that. That's my favorite thing, is to make fun of people that don't immediately start to cry because you said something negative about their personality. They just say something more negative about yours. And that's funny.
Yep.
It's okay to be mean. That means you're friends.
No, that means you're normal.
Yeah.
Nobody's fucking genuinely nice.
Yeah.
And if you
Everyone's
are,
so
you're a fucking
sensitive.
liar.
Yeah. Anyone who's nice to me, I'm immediately suspicious of. And if I'm nice to you, that means I probably think you have some kind of mental issue.
Probably why many girls don't approach you.
Oh, probably.
Orc's pretty cute. Maybe I'll ask him to get some coffee with me after school. Like, oh no, don't. He gets really weird when people.
Oh, he's really fucking loud and annoying.
Oh no, he's got really cute hair. It's long. He wears it up sometimes. Like, no, don't.
He wears it in a man bun.
I do at this point. Although I feel like I need a haircut at this point because it's getting a little ridiculous. I feel like I need to go to the fucking Bronx Zoo to get a haircut now.
When Vietnam veterans are judging you, that's time to cut it.
I don't think this guy... Are you referring to... Did I tell you about the guy at the post office?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
In general,
I went to the
though.
post office, and there was this really old guy who just kind of looked at me and, like, grunt-sighed. And I can't really replicate the noise he made, but it was not a good noise, and it was a noise of hatred. And it was worse than that. I don't know how to... It was like that, but times 10, and I hate you. So it basically me in 70 years. And it was, I'm pretty sure it was because of my hair, because I didn't interact with him in any other way, so I don't know what he would disapprove of me. But,
tall people. He's like,
I was taller than him. He was a little guy, but then he'd be sighing a lot because he wasn't.
Maybe you
tall.
said something out loud that you don't typically, or that you don't remember you said.
No, I wasn't talking to him at all. He
Well,
just
just- I
walked
mean,
in, and I was about to walk out, and he just sighed.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Very interesting.
Gotta love socially conservative people. Not politically, because some of you have valid points. But socially, maybe stay in your own fucking lane. And that concludes my anger. It really doesn't.
And we'll end this week's main part of the show with a couple words. Tolerance, intolerance, tolerates, intolerance, tolerating, tolerance, intolerance.
What?
Totally.
Dinosaurs.
Yeah, dinosaurs.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and do a quick music recommendation and let people know how they can
Fuck,
show.
I didn't even think about music.
Yeah.
I recommend you go onto your Google thing, Google Assistant, and ask it to say, "Let's get spooky," and then
I'm gonna try this. My phone isn't as new as yours, so I can't really like make it talk to me and shit. Like,
well, it is. You probably have Google Assistant.
I do, but it doesn't do as much as yours though. But I'm gonna try this. Okay, Google. It won't make noise because I have it on silent.
Let's
play me a song.
Let's
see what song it picks. Playing music. It's pulling up the thing.
I just like
All
the
right.
command of "Let's get spooky."
It is playing "This Is My Paradise" by Bridget Midger from Beverly Hills, Chihuahua.
What?
Why? Hang on, I'm gonna play it.
Is that on your playlist or something?
No, it's not. What is this? Yeah, so the podcast could hear that a little better than you guys because it was cutting out in Discord. But I don't. It's from Beverly Hills, Chihuahua. I don't know what this.
I'm gonna suggest
right.
"And Justice for All" by Metallica.
I'm gonna write it down.
I'm gonna open up my Spotify.
This is my paradise.
What about you, Oric? What are you gonna suggest?
I don't know.
Well, while you're thinking about what you're suggesting, I'm gonna let the listeners know. Follow us on Twitter at Too Soon Podcast. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're all Too Soon Podcast. If you want to download us on any of your favorite podcast streaming places, we're on iTunes, Google Play, Libsyn, Stitcher, TuneIn, whatever. If you want to email us, got any questions, want to have any concerns, want to let us know that you want to sponsor our podcast, hit us up at the TooSoonCrew@gmail.com. We're on Discord if you want to hang out with us, play some games maybe every once in a while. Discord.me/TooSoonPodcast. If you want to listen to the music that we suggest, we're Too Soon Podcast on Spotify, or Too Soon Playlist on Spotify. And then we're also the Too Soon Pastebin. If you want to find all our link dumps and stuff, they're all on there. And then check out Mallow, because Mallow makes good music that we use most of the time. Tasty Malins.
Yeah, I think he just came out with a new song.
Actually, I just thought of an idea. We can also, what we'll probably start doing is we'll probably, maybe after Liam writes the Pastebin or the episode goes up, we'll just tweet out the Pastebin link too. So that way it's also easy for people to see.
We should probably do that the day the podcast releases.
Right, I know.
Because it would
early,
be incredibly out of context if we did it early.
Right. But one last thing to add to all that, though, just be sure as well, if in the future there's any issues with your subscriptions to any of the services you use to listen to the show, you can email us and tell us what's going
make sure
on.
to let us know.
And we'll investigate for you guys.
It's easy to fix it if we know that there's a problem.
Mm-hmm. And most of the stuff really can happen without us even knowing, because I do most of that stuff in the back end, and I don't typically get notifications for everything unless something comes up just by me checking, you know? So just let us know.
Also, send us some emails that insult our personalities, because that's the only way we'll know that we like you.
Yeah, Oric will be your friend.
Yeah. Make fun of me.
Ream him.
If you dare.
And with that said, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. I hope you enjoy Beverly Hills Chihuahua's soundtrack. I bet it's pretty good. Wasn't George Lopez in that?
Yep.
Yeah. That's the only fact I can give you about that. And
yeah, George Lopez.
In it.
All right, guys. See you guys next Saturday. Whoop-a! Merry Halloween. See you in Thanksgiving.
Don't eat those apples. They're made of manure. It's Halloween 2013. You look for your mama, but she's dressed like a slut. It's Halloween 2013. I am the Wolfman, prepared to die.